Here's news about Korea-US tariffs. 1 week before the U.S. imposes reciprocal tariffs, South Korea and U.S. trade ministers met for 80 minutes of talks but failed to reach an agreement. President Trump openly pressured, saying he would lower tariffs if payments were made, as in the case with Japan. We'll go to Washington now for more details. Kang Young-gu, please share the atmosphere of the ministerial-level negotiations earlier this morning.
Yes, this negotiation was a minister-level meeting held immediately after the sudden cancellation of the originally planned 2+2 high-level talks. From Korea, Minister Kim Chong-kwan of Trade attended, while U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick represented the United States. For over 80 minutes, they held intense closed-door negotiations, but did not reach a final agreement. A negotiation official stated that although no agreement was reached today, both the Korean and U.S. delegations approached the discussions earnestly. They remained extremely reserved, saying it's very hard to predict whether the negotiations will be fully settled before August 1st. The two nations are poised to engage in further discussions with the U.S. early tomorrow morning, based on Korean time.
Which areas currently show the biggest gaps between the two sides in the negotiations?
The key seems to be the amount of investment in the U.S. Currently, the U.S. is setting the investment amount as a condition for tariff adjustments, particularly steering investments into industries that are strategically important for the country. However, our government is reportedly preparing around $10 billion in investment, while major foreign media analyses suggest that the U.S. is expecting investment worth about $40 billion. The negotiation gap between South Korea and the U.S. is the investment difference. Let's listen to President Trump's remarks.
Japan is putting up $550 billion in order to lower their tariffs a little bit. That way they have a little bit lower tariff. And they also opened their country to free trade.
Meanwhile, in a U.S. media interview, Secretary of Commerce Lutnick suggested that South Korea likely reacted with frustration watching Japan's trade deal, hinting at using the competitive dynamic between South Korea and Japan. If negotiations fail to make significant progress by August 1st, South Korea will face a 25% high tariff and will need to continue follow-up talks with the U.S. afterward. This has been your report from Washington.